Dr. Vexlar worked in the big medical station high above many worlds. He belonged to the Lurani people. Their bodies looked like clear crystal with soft blue light inside. They moved slowly and spoke in gentle musical tones because sharp sounds hurt their lattice skin. Most Lurani doctors spent their lives studying strange creatures from far planets. They cataloged every kind of life form in the galaxy without much fear. Vexlar was one of the best at this job. He had already examined acid-blooded hunters from the hot gas moons, methane breathers from the cold rings, and even walking plants that thought with their roots. Nothing ever surprised him too much. He always stayed calm and wrote careful notes. The Galactic Coalition welcomed new species all the time. When a new race joined, everyone sent doctors to learn about their bodies. This helped make sure nobody got sick from unknown germs or strange air. When the first humans asked to join the coalition, the leaders chose Station Epsilon 9 for the meeting. Vexlar heard the news and felt curious. Humans came from a place called Earth. People in the coalition whispered that Earth was a death world, full of dangers. They said humans survived storms, earthquakes, giant beasts, and poison plants. Vexlar did not worry. He thought every world had some hard parts, and every species adapted in its own way. He asked to lead the first medical scan because he wanted to see for himself. The human who came for the scan was named Marcus Reyes. He looked like most descriptions of his kind, tall with 2 arms, 2 legs, 1 head, and skin in different shades of brown. Marcus smiled easily and spoke in a friendly voice. He wore a simple gray suit with the Earth emblem on the chest. Vexlar greeted him in the examination room. The room had smooth white walls, bright lights, and a big scanning bed in the center. Machines hummed softly all around. Vexlar explained the process in slow, clear words. He said the scan would look inside the body without any pain. It would map bones, muscles, organs, blood, and even tiny cells. Marcus nodded and said he understood. He lay down on the bed and stayed very still. Vexlar started the machine. A gentle blue light moved over Marcus from head to toe. The scanner sent waves deep into the flesh and showed perfect pictures on the big screen. Vexlar watched the first images appear. He saw the skeleton first. The bones looked strong and white, with strange shapes. The rib cage protected the heart and lungs very well. The spine curved just right for standing upright. Vexlar noted that human bones used calcium phosphate. This material made them hard enough to take hard hits. He thought it seemed useful for a world with falling rocks and angry animals. Next, the scanner showed the muscles. Red and thick layers covered the frame. Vexlar saw that humans had many different muscle types. Some worked fast for quick actions. Others worked slow for long effort. He remembered reports that humans hunted by chasing animals until the prey was too tired to run. Animals grew too tired to run. Vexlar found this idea interesting. Most predators in the galaxy use speed or poison. Humans used patience and steady movement. He marked this fact in his notes. The heart came into view. It beat strong and regular. 4 chambers pumped blood through the whole body. Vexlar checked the blood itself. The scanner zoomed closer. He saw tiny red cells full of iron. This iron grabbed oxygen from the air and carried it everywhere. Vexlar felt puzzled. Most advanced species used copper or other metals for this job. Copper carried oxygen better and wasted less energy. Iron seemed old and clumsy, yet humans used it everywhere. Vexlar wondered why evolution chose such a heavy, inefficient way. He told himself to keep watching. Maybe the answer would come later. The lungs looked large and spongy. They took in a lot of air at once. Vexlar read the oxygen level in Earth air. It was higher than many worlds. Higher oxygen helped fires burn fast and helped animals move with power. Also hurt delicate tissues over time. Humans had thick linings inside their lungs to protect against this damage. Vexlar wrote that down. He thought humans must breathe carefully all their lives. The stomach and intestines appeared next. They formed a long, twisting path. Vexlar saw that humans ate many kinds of food: plants, animals, cooked meals, raw meals, even slightly spoiled things. Their guts held strong acids and many helpful bacteria. The bacteria broke down hard foods and made vitamins. Vexlar knew other species had simple diets. Humans ate whatever they found. This made them able to live in many places. He felt a small spark of respect for such flexibility. Vexlar moved the scan to the brain. The organ looked wrinkled and huge. It used more energy than any other part of the body. He saw billions of tiny connections firing all at once. Humans thought, dreamed, planned, and remembered in ways that seemed very complex. Vexlar had studied many intelligent species. This brain looked messy, but powerful. He noted the thick skull around it. The bone protected the soft tissue very well. Hours passed as Vexlar kept working. He asked Marcus questions sometimes. Marcus answered with short stories about Earth. He talked about running long distances, climbing high mountains, swimming in cold water, and surviving in deserts. Vexlar listened and kept scanning. He found more strange things. Humans healed cuts and broken bones faster than expected. Their skin grew new layers, and scars formed tough covers. The liver cleaned poisons from the blood very well. The kidneys filtered waste without stopping. Vexlar started to feel something odd in his lattice. A tiny vibration ran through his crystal body. He ignored it at first. He told himself the data just needed more study. Nothing looked dangerous yet. He decided to finish the basic scan and save the deep cell details for tomorrow. Marcus sat up when the machine stopped. He stretched his arms and asked if everything looked normal. He thanked Marcus and promised to share the full report soon. After Marcus left, Vexlar sat alone in the quiet room. He stared at the glowing screen full of human images. He replayed some parts: the iron blood, the strong bones, the tireless muscles, the clever brain. He felt the vibration in his body grow a little stronger. He whispered to the empty air. Humans come from a hard place. They carry strange things inside them. He saved all the files and turned off the lights. He walked slowly back to his resting chamber, thinking about the new species. He told himself tomorrow he would understand more. He did not know yet how much more would shock him. The station lights dimmed for night cycle. Vexlar lay in his crystal bed and let his mind rest. He dreamed of blue earth oceans, red deserts, and running humans. He woke once in the dark and stared at the ceiling. The vibration in his lattice had not stopped. He closed his many eyes and waited for morning. He wanted to see the deeper scans. He wanted to know why humans worked the way they did. He felt curious and just a little uneasy. That night, the galaxy seemed bigger and stranger than before. The next morning, Vexlar returned to the lab early. The station still felt quiet, with most workers resting. He turned on the lights and sat at the big screen. He opened the files from yesterday's scan. The basic images looked the same: strong bones, large heart, thick muscles. He told himself nothing had changed. He decided to go deeper today. He started the Advanced Cell Viewer. This mode showed tiny structures inside every part of the body. First, he looked at the blood again. The red cells floated in clear liquid. Each cell carried iron to hold oxygen. Vexlar zoomed closer. He saw the iron atom locked inside a ring shape called heme. This heme grabbed oxygen molecules tightly. Then it released them where the body needed them. He read the efficiency numbers. Iron worked slower than copper. Yet humans moved fast and ran long distances. Vexlar checked other species. Most used copper and stayed cool. Humans ran hot all the time. Their body heat stayed steady at 37 degrees. This heat helped enzymes work quick, but it also burned energy fast. Vexlar wondered how humans did not cook themselves from inside. He moved to the skin layer. The outer covering looked thin but tough. It had many tiny holes for sweat glands. Humans cooled themselves by pushing water out through these holes. The water turned to vapor and took heat away. Vexlar found this strange. Most species used big ears or special blood vessels to lose heat. Humans sweated everywhere. Even their palms sweated when they felt fear or effort. Vexlar noted this as a survival trick for hot hunts on open land. He pictured humans chasing animals under a bright sun. Sweat kept them going, while the prey overheated and fell. Next he opened the immune system files. This part made his lattice vibrate a little. The body had many kinds of defender cells. Some swam in the blood. Some hid in tissues waiting. Others patrolled the skin and lungs. Vexlar watched a short animation. A tiny germ entered through a cut. A white cell called a macrophage rushed over. It swallowed the germ whole. Then it ate the germ alive inside itself. Other cells called lymphocytes joined. They made special weapons called antibodies. These antibodies stuck to germs and marked them for death. Vexlar saw how fast this army moved. It attacked anything new without asking questions. He read about inflammation. When the body sensed damage, it sent signals. Redness, heat, swelling, and pain appeared together. This response killed invaders, but also hurt the human's own flesh. Vexlar thought it seemed dangerous. Other species used gentle methods. Humans used fire and fury inside their bodies. He found records of humans surviving cuts, bites, poisons, and broken bones. Their defenders sometimes went too far. They attacked good cells by mistake. This caused diseases like arthritis or allergies. Vexlar shook his head gently. Such a wild system should kill the host, yet humans lived long lives. He switched to the liver. The big organ sat under the ribs. It acted like a factory and a cleaner. It broke down food, made proteins, stored sugar, and caught poisons. Vexlar saw how it handled alcohol, caffeine, plant toxins, and even some metals. Most livers in other species failed after small doses. Humans' livers worked hard every day. They regrew parts if cut away. Vexlar found stories of humans losing most of their liver in accidents. The remaining piece grew back to full size. He felt surprise grow inside him. This organ seemed built for a world full of bad food and bad water. The kidneys came next. Two small organs filtered blood all day. They removed waste, but kept water, salt, and minerals in balance. Vexlar learned humans could drink dirty water sometimes. Their kidneys worked extra hard to clean it. He saw numbers. Humans survived with only one kidney. Many lived normal lives with half the filters gone. Vexlar compared this to his own people. Lurani needed perfect balance, or their crystal body cracked. Humans' bodies bent and twisted, but kept working. The bones again. The scanner showed tiny holes inside the hard parts. Living cells moved through these holes. They built new bone and broke old bone. Humans' bones grew stronger with use. They weakened without it. Vexlar thought about reports of humans lifting heavy things, running fast and jumping high. Their bones took the shocks and healed cracks over time. He found a file about fractures. The bone ends grew new bridges of hard material. Scars formed, but the strength returned. Vexlar marked this as remarkable. Most species broke once and stayed weak. Humans broke many times and grew tougher. Vexlar felt the vibration in his lattice become steady now. He tried to stay calm. He told himself these were just facts. He moved to the brain again. The wrinkled surface held many folds. More surface meant more thinking power. He saw how humans learned from mistakes. They remembered pain and danger. They taught their young with stories and tools. Vexlar found the part called the prefrontal cortex. Ahead, delay, wants, and control. Anger other species had smaller versions. Humans use theirs to build cities, ships, and weapons. He wondered if this brain made them dangerous. Hours went by. Vexlar kept opening files. He found the appendix, a small tube off the large intestine. Doctors once thought it useless. Now they knew it held good bacteria for hard times. When gut sickness killed many bacteria, the appendix sent helpers back. Vexlar saw humans without appendix lived fine too. The body adapted again. He read about tonsils, wisdom teeth, and other leftover parts. Evolution left them behind, but humans still use some. Vexlar thought humans carried old tools from ancient days. He checked the reproduction system. Humans made few young at once, but cared for them many years. The young stayed helpless for long periods. This needed strong families and groups. Vexlar saw how humans shared food, knowledge, and protection. This made their species strong, even when single members felt weak. Vibration in Vexlar grew stronger. He stood up and walked around the room. He looked out the window at the stars. He breathed slowly. His crystal body hummed softly. He told himself to finish the day. He sat again and opened the last file for today. It showed the whole body map with red lines for nerves, blue for blood, green for energy paths. The picture looked chaotic, yet perfect. Vexlar stared at it. He whispered quietly to the screen, "You humans carry so many strange things." He saved everything and turned off the screen. The lab grew dark. He walked out slowly. His steps felt heavier. He passed other doctors in the hall. They greeted him. He nodded, but said little. He reached his chamber and lay down. The vibration did not stop. He closed his eyes and thought about iron blood, hot bodies, wild defenders, and bones that healed. He knew tomorrow would bring more. He felt curious and worried together. He did not sleep well that night. The galaxy outside stayed silent, while his mind raced with human secrets. Vexlar woke before the station lights brightened fully. He sat up in his crystal bed. The vibration in his lattice felt constant now, like a low hum that never stopped. He told himself today he would finish the deep scans. He needed to see the smallest parts, the genes, the cells, the hidden mechanisms. He walked to the lab without eating. He passed quiet halls and nodded to early workers. His many optic stalks stayed focused ahead. In the examination room, he turned on every machine. The big screen glowed bright. He loaded the human data from Marcus. He started with the genetic code. The scanner showed long chains of molecules called DNA. These chains held instructions for every part of the body. Vexlar zoomed in. He saw 4 simple letters repeated in endless patterns: A, T, C, G. Humans had about 3 billion of these letters in each cell. He felt amazed. Such a small code built a whole thinking, walking creature. He compared it to other species. Most used similar codes, but shorter or simpler. DNA looked crowded with extra pieces. He found junk DNA, long stretches that seemed useless at first. Other scientists once called it garbage. Now they knew some parts controlled when genes turned on or off. Vexlar read about switches. Genes flipped like lights. Some stayed off for years, then woke up during stress or injury. Humans changed inside when danger came. Their bodies adapted fast. Vexlar noted this as clever design. Blind evolution made no plans, yet it created flexible tools. Next, he opened the cell repair files. Every human cell copied its DNA when it divided. Mistakes happened often. Radiation, chemicals, heat, all caused errors. Most species fixed these mistakes slowly. Humans had many repair teams. Enzymes scanned the code, cut out bad parts, pasted good ones. Vexlar saw one system called mismatch repair. It caught most errors. Another caught breaks in the chain. Humans fixed double-strand breaks in different ways. Some ways kept the code perfect. Others added small changes on purpose. These changes helped evolution move faster. Vexlar thought humans carried their own tiny mutators inside every cell. He moved to telomeres. Tiny caps sat at the ends of each DNA strand. They protected the code like plastic tips on shoelaces. Each time a cell divided, the caps grew shorter. When caps vanish, the cells stopped dividing or died. Vexlar learned most species had short lives because of this. Humans had an enzyme called telomerase. It rebuilt the caps in some cells. Young humans used it a lot. Old humans used it less. Vexlar found cancer files. Many cancers came from cells that forgot to stop dividing. They turned telomerase back on and grew forever. Humans fought these rogue cells with their wild immune army. Sometimes the army won. Sometimes it lost. Vexlar felt a chill run through his crystal form. Humans lived with death hiding in every cell. He switched to regeneration. The body healed itself in amazing ways. Skin closed cuts. Muscle knit together. Bone rebuilt bridges. Back from tiny pieces, Vexlar watched videos of human experiments. Cells crawled to wounds. They sent signals to call more helpers. Blood clots formed quick to stop bleeding. Then new tissue grew. Scar tissue appeared, tough and strong. Vexlar compared this to his own people. Lurani regrew crystals slowly and perfectly. Humans regrew fast and rough, but it worked. They survived massive damage. Other species died from less. He found the pain system. Nerves screamed when tissue hurt. Pain told the brain danger existed. Humans felt pain sharp and long. Some ignored it to keep moving. Vexlar read stories of humans running on broken legs, fighting with torn muscles, climbing with burned hands. Pain did not stop them. It warned them. They pushed through anyway. Vexlar thought this seemed mad, yet it helped them live on hard worlds. The hormones came next. Chemicals floated in blood and changed behavior. Adrenaline rushed during fear or fight. It made hearts beat fast, muscles strong, eyes sharp. During long stress, it kept energy high but hurt the body over time. Humans balanced these chemicals in strange ways. They laughed, cried, loved, hated, all with chemical floods. Vexlar saw how emotions drove them. Emotions made them build families, fight wars, create art, explore stars. No other species mixed feelings and survival so deeply. He delved into the microbiome. Trillions of tiny creatures lived inside human guts, on skin, in mouths. These bacteria helped digest food, made vitamins, fought bad germs. Vexlar learned humans fed their microbiome with fiber and variety. When balance broke, sickness came. Humans took medicines or ate special foods to fix it. Vexlar thought humans carried whole living worlds inside them. These worlds helped them survive poison plants, bad water, strange climates. He opened the evolutionary history file. Humans came from small tree climbers, then walkers on open plains, then tool users, then thinkers. The path twisted through ice ages, floods, famines, plagues, predators. They lost fur, kept sweat glands, grew big brains, stood tall. Vexlar saw persistence hunting again. Humans chased prey for days. They sweated, ran, walked, threw spears, waited. The prey collapsed first. Humans ate fresh meat, used fire to cook it. Cooking broke toxins, made food soft, let jaws shrink, brains grow. Vexlar realized humans turned weakness into strength. He found the appendix again. It held backup bacteria for gut storms. Wisdom teeth came from bigger jaws long ago. Now they caused pain, but humans pulled them out and lived. Blind spots in eyes came from backwards wiring. Yet brains filled the gaps. Humans saw illusions, but still hunted accurately. Vexlar whispered to himself, "Everything about them looks wrong, yet nothing stops them." His lattice hummed louder now. The vibration shook his whole form. He tried to breathe slow. He told himself, these facts explain survival, nothing more. He opened one last file. It showed human endurance records. People ran hundreds of miles without stopping. They survived weeks without food, days without water. They climbed mountains where air thinned. They dove deep where pressure crushed. They flew to other worlds. Vexlar stared at the numbers. Humans pushed limits no other species touched. He stood up. The room spun a little. He walked to the window. Stars glittered cold and far. He pressed his crystal hand to the glass. The cool touch helped steady him. He thought about Marcus, calm, polite, normal-looking. Yet inside him ran iron rivers, wild defenders, hot fire, endless repair teams, blind, stubborn life. He felt small. He felt afraid. He felt wonder. Vexlar returned to the screen. He saved every new file. He labeled them Human Extremes. He turned off the machines. The lab went dark. He left slowly. His steps echoed in empty halls. He passed sleeping quarters. Other doctors rested peaceful. He envied them. He reached his chamber and lay down. The hum in his lattice grew to a steady song. He closed his optic stalks. He saw human shapes in the dark. Chasing, healing, fighting, living. He knew tomorrow held the final pieces. He feared what they would show. He craved them anyway. Sleep came slow and broken. The station spun quiet, while Vexlar burned with questions about the Death World children who refused to die. Vexlar entered the lab at first light. The station hummed with morning activity, but he moved like a shadow. His lattice vibrated so strongly now, it made soft ringing sounds when he touched anything. He ignored the other doctors who greeted him. He sat at the console and opened the final set of files. These held the evolutionary summary, the full picture of how humans became what they were. He told himself this would explain everything. He hoped it would calm the storm inside his crystal body. He started with the oldest records. Human ancestors lived in trees long ago. They had grasping hands, big eyes, and fur. Then the world changed. Forests shrank. Plains grew wide. The small creatures climbed down. They stood on two legs to see over tall grass. They walked far to find food. Vexlar saw how this change freed their hands. Hands became tools. They picked stones, shaped them, threw them. Humans learned to kill from distance. This gave them power over faster, stronger animals. Humans found burning sticks after storms. They kept the flames alive. They cooked meat. Cooking killed worms and germs. It broke tough fibers. It made food easier to chew. Jaws shrank. Brains grew bigger. Vexlar noted the link. Fire let humans eat more kinds of things. They digested better. They got more energy. Their bodies stayed smaller, but minds grew sharp. The ice ages came. Cold winds covered lands. Humans wrapped in animal skins. They built shelters from bones and hides. They hunted big beasts together. Groups shared meat, shared warmth, shared stories. Vexlar saw how cooperation saved them. One human alone died fast. Many humans lived. They taught young ones how to track, how to trap, how to make spears, how to read weather. Plagues swept through groups. Sickness killed many. Humans who survived carried changes in their genes. Some fought off diseases better. These changes spread. Vexlar found records of Black Death, waves of fever, waves of coughs. Each time humans came back stronger. Their immune systems adapted. Systems learned new tricks. Their bodies remembered old enemies. He opened the persistence hunting file. This part made his optic stalks widen. Humans did not run the fastest. They did not have the strongest claws. They chased. Animals ran fast at first, then slowed. Humans kept going. They sweated to stay cool. They breathed steady. They tracked prints, followed blood trails, waited at water holes. The animal panted, overheated, collapsed. Humans walked up, killed it, ate fresh. Vexlar pictured the scene. Endless plains, hot sun. Human runner, thin, tall, dark skin shining with sweat. Legs moving like machines, heart pounding steady, eyes locked on distant prey. He felt awe mixed with fear. No other predator hunted this way. He found diet details. Humans ate roots, berries, nuts, insects, fish, meat, fruits, honey, whatever grew or moved. They tasted new things, risked poison to learn safe foods. They cooked, they dried, they smoked, they fermented. They stored food for lean times. Vexlar saw how this made them invaders of every land. Deserts, jungles, tundras, islands, mountains. Humans followed rivers, crossed seas, climbed peaks. They carried seeds, carried tools, carried knowledge. They changed worlds wherever they went. The brain files grew deeper. Humans planned years ahead. They built stories about stars, about gods, about death. They made art on cave walls. They carved flutes from bone. They sang, they danced. Vexlar thought emotions drove this thinking. Fear made them careful, love made them brave. Anger made them fight. Curiosity made them explore. He saw how humans turned pain into meaning. They mourned lost ones. They celebrated births. They laughed at danger. He switched to warfare. Humans fought each other often. They made better weapons, sharper spears, stronger bows, metal swords, guns, bombs. They organized armies. They built walls, cities, ships. They learned from every battle. Vexlar noted the cruelty, yet the same minds built hospitals, schools, libraries. They healed strangers. They shared knowledge across seas. Reached for stars. The final summary appeared on screen. Human evolution favored the stubborn, the adaptable, the group-minded, the pain-tolerant, the tool-using, the fire-stealing, the stargazing. The body carried mistakes: appendix, wisdom teeth, tailbone, backwards eyes, poor night vision, weak sense of smell. Yet these mistakes did not kill them. Humans worked around them. They invented glasses. They pulled bad teeth. They used dogs for scent. They lit lamps. Vexlar read the classification recommendation. Class 3 Death Worlder. High risk, high resilience, restricted medical contact, extreme caution advised. He stared at the words. His lattice rang louder. The sound filled the room like breaking glass. He felt every crystal facet shake. He whispered the question that burned in his mind. You're made of what? He saw iron in blood, where others used gentle copper. He saw hot, constant fire, where others stayed cool. He saw chaotic defenders that tore friends and foes alike. He saw bones that broke and mended stronger. He saw cells that forgot to die. He saw guts full of warring worlds. He saw brains that dreamed while bodies bled. He saw hunters who chased until the universe itself grew tired. His optic stalks locked on the screen. The human outline glowed there, calm, strong, alive. He thought of Marcus sitting quiet during the scan. No fear, no pride, just patience. Vexlar envied that calm. He envied the strength inside such a fragile frame. His vibration peaked. The harmonics climbed high and sharp. A clear chime rang out like struck crystal, shattering. Vexlar felt his lattice crack. Small fractures spread fast. Light leaked from the breaks. His body folded. He collapsed to the floor. Crystal pieces tinkled across the tiles. His many eyes dimmed. The room spun dark. The last thing he saw was the screen still glowing with human data. The words Class 3 Death Worlder burned into his fading sight. Silence fell in the lab. The machines hummed on alone. Vexlar lay still, his crystal form cracked, but not broken. The vibrations stopped at last. He floated in darkness. Dreams came. Humans ran across endless plains. They laughed. They fell. They rose. They reached for stars. Vexlar watched from far away. He felt small. He felt terrified. He felt something close to respect. Assistants found him later. They lifted his fragile form. They carried him to recovery. They mended the worst cracks. They watched his light return slow. Vexlar slept deep. No one disturbed him. The station moved on around him. While he rested, the galaxy learned a new truth. Humans walked among them, strange, terrible, wonderful, made of iron and fire, and unbreakable will. The doctor who fainted would wake changed. He would never see any species the same way again. Assistants rushed into the lab when the alarm sounded. They found Vexlar on the floor. His crystal body lay in pieces. Light leaked from wide cracks across his lattice. They called for emergency medics. They lifted him carefully onto a stretcher. They carried him to the recovery wing. The station doctor, a sturdy insectoid named Krell, examined him quickly. He found fractures everywhere, but no total shatter. The core lattice still held life. Krell applied sealant gels. He wrapped stabilizing bands around the worst breaks. He hooked Vexlar to nutrient feeds and calm harmonics. The doctor said Vexlar would wake soon. The damage looked bad, but fixable. Hours passed. The recovery room stayed quiet, except for soft beeps from monitors. Marcus Reyes came to check on the doctor. He stood in the doorway and watched the still form. He asked a nurse if Vexlar would be okay. The nurse said yes, just shocked. Marcus nodded. He left a small note. It said, "Thanks for the scan. Hope you feel better soon." Thinking about how simple curiosity could break even the strongest minds. Vexlar stirred, late in the afternoon. His optic stalks flickered open slowly. Light hurt at first. He closed them again. He felt the wraps around his body. He heard the gentle hum of healing machines. He remembered the screen, the words, the final question. "You're made of what?" He remembered the chime, the collapse, the darkness. He opened his stalks again. This time, the light felt softer. He looked around. The room had pale walls and one big window. Stars moved outside, slow and steady. A nurse came in. She checked the monitors. She asked how he felt. Vexlar tried to speak. His voice came out weak and cracked. He said, "I am alive." The nurse smiled. She said, "You gave us a scare. You fainted right in the lab." Vexlar asked about the human data. The nurse said, "Everything saved, nothing lost." Vexlar felt relief, mixed with something heavier. He asked to see the files again. The nurse said, "Rest first. The doctors want you stable." He lay back and let the harmonics soothe him. Days went by. Vexlar healed slowly. The fractures sealed. The light inside his crystal grew brighter. He started short walks around the recovery wing. He spoke with other doctors. They asked what happened. He told them the human scan broke him. They listened with wide eyes. Some laughed nervously. Others looked serious. They said Deathworlders always surprise us. Vexlar did not laugh. He felt changed. When the doctors cleared him, he returned to his own chamber. He sat in his crystal bed and thought long. He remembered every file, every strange fact, every impossible survival. He thought about iron blood that rusted, yet carried life. He thought about defenders that burned the body to save it. He thought about bones that broke and came back harder. He thought about brains that dreamed through pain. He thought about persistence hunters who outlasted everything. He stood up. He walked to his personal console. He opened the Coalition archive. For every human record he could find. Medical texts from Earth, evolutionary studies, survival stories, old wars, new explorations. He read late into the night cycles. He absorbed it all. He saw humans fall again and again. He saw them rise every time. He saw small, fragile bodies carry huge, stubborn spirits. One night he found a video archive. It showed a human astronaut on a broken ship. The ship spun in deep space. Air leaked. Power failed. The human worked alone. He patched holes. He rerouted wires. He talked to mission control calm and steady. He survived days until rescue came. Vexlar watched the humans smile at the camera. He said, "We keep going. That's what we do." Vexlar felt his lattice hum again. This time the hum felt different. Not fear, not terror, something closer to respect. He wrote his final report to the coalition. He chose simple words. He started with the scan details. He listed the iron, the heat, the chaos, the repair. He described the evolutionary path, the fire, the chase, the adaptation. Ended with these lines. Humans are not an anomaly. They are what happens when a planet tries to kill its children for 4 billion years, and the children win. They carry death in every cell, yet choose life every day. Proceed with extreme caution and deeper respect. He sent the report. He waited for replies. Leaders responded fast. They upgraded the human classification. They added new medical warnings. They marked humans as high interest, high risk. They thanked Vexlar for his work. They said his fate became a warning story across stations. Vexlar read the messages. He felt no pride. He felt duty. Words spread, quiet at first, then louder. Doctors whispered in halls. Researchers shared files. Crews told stories over meals. The phrase, "You're made of what?" became a saying. When someone survived impossible odds, others said, "You're made of what?" When a creature showed strange toughness, the same words appeared. It turned into quiet slang for anything horrifyingly resilient. Vexlar returned to work, slow. He took easier cases. He studied gentle species with soft biologies. He avoided deep Deathworld files for a while. Yet he kept one file open always. The human summary. He read it sometimes late at night. He looked at the glowing outline of Marcus' body. He thought about the calm engineer who sat still, while machines peeled back every secret. Months later, Marcus came back for a follow-up check. Vexlar greeted him in the same exam room. Marcus smiled. He asked, "How are you feeling, Doc?" Vexlar said, "Better, thank you for asking." Marcus lay on the bed again. Vexlar ran light scans this time. No deep probes, just basics. He saw the same strong bones, the same hot blood, the same steady heart. He felt no vibration this time. He felt calm. After the scan, Marcus sat up. He said, "You know, we humans scare ourselves too. Sometimes we look in the mirror and wonder how we keep going." Vexlar nodded. He said, "Your kind carries wonders inside. Terrible wonders." Marcus laughed soft. He said, "Maybe. That's why we like stories about tough guys. We need reminders." Vexlar said, "Your biology is reminder enough." Marcus left with a wave. Vexlar watched him go. He turned off the lights. He stood in the dark room. He looked out at the stars. He whispered to the empty air, "Thank you, humans. You taught me fear. You taught me awe. You taught me respect." The station spun on. New species arrived. New scans began. Vexlar worked steady. He never fainted again. He studied with careful eyes. He remembered the question that broke him. "You're made of what?" He answered it every day in his mind. Humans are made of survival. They are made of iron and fire and unbreakable will. They are made of whatever it takes to keep living. Somewhere in the archives, a new note appeared beside the human file. It said, "Proceed with extreme caution and respect." The galaxy grew a little wiser. The doctor who fainted became the doctor who understood. And the children of the death world walked among the stars, quiet, strong, strange, and alive.